We've now had our Ann Kolker Fellowship for 6 years, and it's given us a chance to see how we've accomplished the two goals that are at the heart of this fellowship. One is to have health policy advocates come to Washington, each one for a year, work on health policy issues with a view to trying to help ovarian cancer patients have the best care that they can get. And the second goal has been to help these fellows become advocates in the years after their fellowship. So we want to advance their career and see them move into the health policy world. I'm gratified in the 6 years that we've had the fellowship since Annie passed away in 2016 to see that we've accomplished or are on the route accomplishing both of these goals. So our hope is that our next fellow will do the same thing, be an advocate for the year that he or she is here in Washington, and then take those skills and advance her own career or his own career in the health policy world. Those would be the goals that I know Annie would have wanted to see somebody carry out in her name, and I'm happy that we've been able to accomplish that and will continue to do so.
Ovarian Cancer Research Alliance is really the voice for ovarian cancer patients on Capitol Hill and in the state legislatures across the country. And the work that the Ann Kolker Fellows have done has just had a tremendous contribution to what we're doing here, the type of research that they've done, looking at regulatory reform, looking at state laws to determine how they impact ovarian cancer patients at every level of treatment and diagnosis. It's really been invaluable. And just to see the fantastic people that have come through this program and the work that they've done has really been a boon to all of us. And I'm really excited that we get to hear from a few of them now. Amelia, take it away.
Hey, Udita, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you again. It's been a little while, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, me too. So can you tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing now?
Sure. So now I'm in my second year at Johns Hopkins University, specifically at the Bloomberg School of Public Health, and I'm getting my PhD in health policy and management with a concentration in bioethics.
Awesome. Can you tell me about a project you did during your time at the Kolker Fellowship?
Sure. I would say that there were two pretty significant projects that I worked on. The first is the state report card that we aim to do every single year, which was, I think, really eye-opening to me because it gave me a new perspective on how to look at state policies and the alignment or misalignment a lot of the times in state policies that it's hard to look at, especially when you're thinking about your individual state and where you live and access issues that might be by design or lack of design of policies in certain areas. So I thought that was a very eye-opening experience. And the other thing that I worked on and supported was the establishment of the Health Equities Task Force. And I thought that that was also a really rewarding experience because I got to connect with different advocate leaders in a new way and other ovarian cancer survivors who are involved in our networks in interesting ways. So I would say that those are two pretty important projects that I worked on that I still think about on a regular basis.
So how would you say that the Kolker Fellowship prepared you for the career you have now?
I think the fellowship really did help guide me to what I study right now. So I was applying to PhD programs. It was always my plan to apply to PhD programs and start that after the fellowship. And I remembered my interview with Peter and Chad, and I was saying, they were asking me why was I interested in OCRA specifically. And I explained that I never really got an opportunity to sit with a patient group before. And I think I said this in my interview last year because it rings true. I never got a chance to just be like, what do these people need specifically? And hearing their experiences and coming into the fellowship focused on really getting a full sense of the patient experience illuminated a whole aspect of healthcare that I think I was interested in a distance, and seeing how critical technology was for coordinating their care, especially their care across state lines, was really pivotal for me. So then I really started to grow in this interest of digital health And that's what I use to apply to my PhD program today. So that's a lot of the reason why I'm here, is because of hearing their experiences and thinking a little bit more deeply about what it means to get care and deliver care, and how the advocate leaders using technology all the time to connect with each other, with resources, sharing their stories, finding other survivors who might not be aware of what OCRA does, and getting them into the fold and helping them connect with other resources through Facebook, but also through knowledge about genetic testing and their information as patients. Like all of those elements are part of this digital health service ecosystem that I was able to situate myself in because of this experience. And now 2 years into the program, and I love it more each day. So I would say that's something special, truly, that was given to me in this experience.
Yeah, that's very special. And I'm so glad that it led you to bioethics, especially at what I believe is the best bioethics program in the country, from what I've heard. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And what would you say to those who are considering applying for the Kolker Fellowship?
I would say first, come with a personal plan. So when I was applying to different fellowships, and this one in particular was very important to me because my best friend's mom passed away from ovarian cancer when we were 19. So that was my introduction to ovarian cancer, was through a patient and someone that I was connected to. I called her mom too, oftentimes. So we had a very important relationship, and it was really important to me to honor her. And I had to really evaluate how I was going to do that in this space. So it was something that was close to me and personal. And a lot of what we do here is connect with people and their personal stories. So having a plan on how to really manage that and take on the weight of that and understand what that means to really connect with people on their stories is something that I really did try to prepare for. The other thing I would say when it comes to applying for this fellowship is really looking at the policy landscape critically, because those skills are going to be really necessary for doing this role as a fellow. So what are the elements of policy and policy making that really excite you, and where can you really find your place there? So just knowing where you stand on those things and being open-minded and excited to receive information from all elements is how to consider applying to this fellowship, because it, unlike some other groups or patient groups where they find a specific agency or a specific policy channel to focus on, because of the rarity of ovarian cancer and also because of the strength of the ovarian cancer survivor community, there's work being done at all angles. And knowing where you want to set your expertise, but also where you need to learn, is really important to consider.
Hi, Gina. Good to see you.
Hi, Amelia. It's great to see you as well.
So would you mind introducing yourself to the viewers, just telling us a little bit about when you did the Kolker Fellowship and the work that you're doing now?
Certainly. Currently, I am a registered nurse in Northern Virginia in women's health. So definitely a little different than some of our other previous fellows, but all within the same realm and completely related. And I actually made this jump into nursing because of the Kolker Fellowship. It was that opportunity I had to be around advocates and patients that really was so engaging for me, and something that I really found a passion with, which is why it spurred me to kind of shift gears a little bit, but stay within women's health, which has always been a passion of mine. And so I've been doing really well since the fellowship.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the relationships that you were able to build with the community of advocates during your time in the fellowship?
For sure. So being an advocate started for me with my own family. My mom was an ovarian cancer patient for 11 years, unfortunately passing away from the disease. So this community has a special place in my heart. And coming to the fellowship was an incredible opportunity to work with our advocate leaders. It's a group of individuals who are either patients, caregivers, family members that have been affected by or are currently going through ovarian cancer. And being able to work with them, get them ready for going to the Hill, hearing their stories, helping elevate those stories was a privilege. And I enjoyed every second of it.
I think bringing advocate leaders to the Hill was one of my favorite parts of the fellowship as well.
And it was incredible to see the results of that too. Being the fellow and getting to help plan Advocacy Day and helping to, go to meetings with them and help prep them for what they should say and what we're fighting for. And then seeing bills get passed, seeing funding get approved was just so great to see it go from A to B and have a completed mission, really, each time that they step foot on the Hill.
Absolutely. And can you tell us a little bit about a project that you worked on during your time in the fellowship?
Yeah, of course. So aside from getting to work with the advocate leaders, which was a highlight for me, I also had a specific project that I was working on that was pretty much actually tailored to something that I personally brought to the table and skills I had and things I was interested in, which was healthcare research and kind of analyzing trends and kind of comparative research across the country. And so I got to work on what was called the 50 States of Teal report card, which looked at state by state different parameters and statistics within ovarian cancer, whether that be preventative measures, treatment, statistics within morbidity and mortality. And so I got to really take the lead on that project and really utilize my skills in research to try to bring to light some of the disparities we have across our country. And so that was a super fun project for me. And it really helped to not only bolster the skills I already had, but expand my skill set as well within health policy and women's health. So
what would you say to anyone that's considering applying for the fellowship in its next cycle?
Yes, certainly. I would say if you're on the fence, put your application in. For me personally, and I think I can speak for everyone that has been a fellow thus far, it's a really great experience. Even for me, like I said previously, kind of pivoting my career away from health policy, but still within women's health. That is what helped me find what I wanted to do and what my passions were, and where I wanted to go within the world of women's health, and how to be the best advocate I could be. It's also a wonderful opportunity for hands-on experience. You get to, talk with congressional leaders, their staff members. You get to bring your own spin and your own knowledge to projects that OCRA is working on. And not only that, but the team is wonderful. Everyone you work with is wonderful. And it's also an incredible opportunity for networking within health policy, women's health, whether that's what you want to stay in or if you want to branch out in different health policy areas. The leadership of OCRA and the Kolker Fellowship are there to support you and give you the opportunities and have your voice heard and make those networking connections to help you progress even after the fellowship is over. So I definitely advocate for this fellowship. I think it is a wonderful opportunity for young people coming out of school, and I highly recommend applying.
Absolutely. I think that if you're interested in getting your foot in the door, working directly with advocates and working directly with legislators, this is the perfect opportunity for you. This is an opportunity to be meeting with legislators and their staff right off the bat. You're not just going to be running analyses in an office, you're going to be boots on the ground doing the work. If that sort of hands-on experience appeals to you, I absolutely think you should apply for the Kolker Fellowship.